What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Neeks Sports. It is Leeds United versus Manchester United, the battle of the roses. Red roses versus white roses. Lancashire versus Yorkshire. Now I just see a message from Sammy talking about cricket. I'm gonna have to go have a look at that in a bit. But this is about football. Manchester United travel to Ellen Road. When no love is lost. No love is lost whatsoever in this derby, in this rivalry, and I think it's just a shame that there's no fans. You know, when we played earlier in the season, and we said, you know, what spectacle it would have been if we could have fans. You know, Leeds back in the Premier League have fans in the ground. For when Man United won 6-2, and you know the Leeds fans really talked up them wanting to travel and go back to these big places, big matches where they think they belong. And you know they have a great fan base and they've got a great history as well. And we thought, okay, maybe we missed the home game, there's no fans, but the away game, maybe there's going to be fans. Unfortunately, there's no fans again. I'm sure with all the news about the Super League, etc. I'm just looking at the football results at the moment. Burnley are 4-0 up. 4-0 up against Leeds. This is not against Wolves. Sorry, it's unbelievable. With all the things going on with the Super League, etc., I think this would have made for a white hot atmosphere at Ellen Road. Absolutely, and they might still, in the sense that there's probably going to be fans outside protesting, making noise, giving a hostile reception to the Man United team when they arrive. I'm sure of it. But in the ground, we're not going to have that. And that is a shame. I'm not going to lie, that's a shame. It might make for an easier game for Man United without that level of, pressure and scrutiny. But there's still pressure because Man United should be beating Leeds. And that pressure is always going to be there as far as Man United are concerned. For Leeds, I'm not going to say it's a free hit, but it's a game that you think the players can enjoy. They just come up from the Championship. They're having a good season. They play a way that is very carefree, and they're gonna have a go as they always do. And I think the lineup that we've put out today, it kind of relates to the fact that Leeds are gonna go for it. Leeds are gonna go for it. What I'm gonna do quickly, just bring up. I'm trying to find the lineup that we started in the 6-2. Because remember I remember we made that 6-2 and won that 6-2, and the lineup came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, Dan James ain't played for ages. How are we playing Dan James?" And Dan James had a great game, an absolute great game. And you know, you sit back and you're like, maybe Solskjaer has got tactics. Yeah, we know Solskjaer's got tactics. Looking at that game, so yeah, we've actually got the exact same team, barring two positions. So Henderson's in for David De Gea, and Greenwood's in for Martial. This team, so it's exactly the same. You know, McTominay and Fred, Rashford, James, and maybe they'll go with Rashford on the left, James on the right, and Greenwood through the middle. Or they may have it as I've put it here, and we'll go through. We'll go through the team in a second, but we know why he's gone with this kind of pace and power lineup. So you know, you got the two in the midfield who are going to run and get around, because Leeds, they like to run, they like to press and harry, etc. So we're going to need to outrun Leeds. And if I'm correct, we outran Leeds in that game. And when you outrun Leeds, then it comes down to quality. And our quality far supersedes that of Leeds. So if we outrun Leeds, then we win the game. And we did that in the first game. And the team that Solskjaer's picked today suggests that is the aim again. We outrun Leeds and the quality will shine through. And there comes a point where, as I said for a while, when Solskjaer's getting the results, there comes a point where we just have to accept his decisions. We have to say, all right, we trust that you must know what you're doing. You're getting results time and time again. We're going to allow you to pick the team, even if it's not one that we always enjoy. While you're here, make sure you smash the like button. Big up Adrian, says tuned in while cleaning. Yes, on the Sunday morning, we have to clean up the yard, cook a little dinner, all of that. And you know, got football all day. Obviously, as a Burnley are playing Wolves right now. I think they're 4-0 up. But the last goal was being reviewed. I'm not 100% sure what the score is. I mean, I could just put it on my TV. I don't know why I'm not doing that, to be honest. Make sure I got the mute on. That's on BBC as well. Sammy says Pogba dropped. Yes, and as Shane came in and said, so Pogba isn't playing because there is a lot of running required. Fred and McTominay are important in a game like this. 100% agree with that. If you're going to play Pogba in this game anyway, you would play him in definitely one of the front three positions. You definitely wouldn't put him in the midfield. But there's two things. We've got a big game coming up next on Thursday. Pogba's definitely going to be starting that. Talking about this game specifically, yeah, I agree. You want people that's going to run forward, run back, run forward, run back, run non-stop. And Dan James is going to do that without a shadow of a doubt. You might say, well, you know, when Man City play Leeds, they don't. De Bruyne doesn't not play. I get you. You know, maybe Solskjaer does need to find a way to, because you know, at one point you hope that Pogba can play every game for us. You know, the man will find a way, but we're not there. Wherever we want to say, we're not there, and this is probably the best team to actually go out and play Leeds. It's a very similar team to how we played them in the first game. Dean Casabov says, is there any chance in your mind Leeds will play differently and try to defend first? Bielsa's pre-match pressure put some doubt in me. You know what? I thought about that. When they played Man City, and I know they were down to 10 men. Yeah, they were down to 10 men. But when they played Man City, they kind of sat back and hit Man City on the counter-attack, which is a bit different to how they play. I know they do counter, but they kind of keep going. They don't really sit back, soak up pressure, and counter. However, they were down to 10 men, and Man City play a very different way. It's possible. You know, if Bielsa really wants to get a result, then he has to change the way. He has to go in there defensively. He has to sit back and try and hit us on the counter, and see, you know, try and stop us from breaking through them and hit us on the counter. That would be the best way for them to play. I don't know how important the result is for him in a situation where, you know, these are safe. It's a free hit. They've got nothing to worry about. If they lose, they're expected to lose. If they win, great football. He's all about philosophy, and he wants his team to play a certain way. And if they can play their way and win, then he would probably get more. He would probably feel more vindicated than having to change the way that he wants to play and get the result. As a fan, of course, you want to get the result regardless. But as a manager, someone who's is a philosophy merchant, he probably wants to win his way more than change the way he's going to play to get the result, or just play his way, have a good performance, and whatever the result drops. So I hope they go out and play the same way. It will be very naive, very stupid of them, but I hope they do. And we can hit them on the counter. We can play through them and those kind of things. So, you know, we've had a week off, rested. So there's no excuse about a lack of energy or anything of the sort. Looking at the Burnley game, it was disallowed. So still 3-0 to Burnley against Wolves. Looking at the lineup, so we'll go through it one by one. Obviously, Dean Henderson, that's a given. Give me a second. Dean Henderson, obviously, he's the number one keeper for Man United now. It's in the league games anyway. I expect David De Gea to be playing on Thursday in the Europa. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. Back four picks itself. The less said about that, the better. Actually, let me see if I can find the subs bench, because Bailly was supposed to be back. Yeah, Bailly was supposed to be back. I'm not 100% sure if he's on the bench or not. Let me double check that. But yeah, for me, that back four picks itself. Anyway, we got Bailly and Tuanzebe on the bench, as well as Alex Telles. So that's 3 defenders on the bench. Midfield, McTominay and Fred. Yeah, I think for me, it's all about legs. Matic, we know he's a better, more of a defensive midfielder than either of them two, but he ain't got the legs, especially like he barely plays a game these days, let alone against Leeds. Like playing against Leeds would be absolutely catastrophic. So for me, that midfield makes sense. Pogba wasn't going to come to that midfield anyway. If he was going to play, as I said, he would have played in one of the wide positions, probably wide left. Bruno Fernandes picks himself. So I've gone with Greenwood, Rashford, and James. Now, you may have Greenwood through the middle, James on the right, Rashford on the left. Rashford and Greenwood may just swap positions on the right. It's going to be a fluid front three, I suppose. Rashford's not going to stay up front for the whole game, I don't believe. Especially as the game drags on. Whether we're winning or losing, I think Solskjaer would want to give Greenwood a few minutes, 10, 15, maybe a bit more through the middle as a number 9. He's developing. He's trying to develop Greenwood into a number 9, but I don't think he feels that he can play that role at 90 minutes per game. If there is a time to play it, to be honest, it's probably this game, because he's not going to be up against, two burly centre backs who are going to try and get in and around and rough him up. He's going to have much more space to operate, which is generally the reason why he plays on the right, because there's more space to operate. Against Leeds, even through the middle, you're going to have space to operate. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them, him playing through the middle a lot this game, and Rashford moving out to the left and Greenwood, but it'll be very fluid. And yeah, I expect to win. It's going to be an exciting game, I think. Leeds aren't going to just Leeds don't sit back and just defend. Even if they sit back, they're going to try and counter. So I think we're still going to have our wits about us going at the back with Leeds going forward. But I think if you look at the 6-2 game and you think, man, have Leeds developed? Look at the 2 goals they scored. One was from a corner just before halftime, and the other was a banger. I think it was from Dallas from outside the box. So with all their attacking plan, they had some chances, and we should have scored more anyway. With all their chances and all that on the attacking play that they play, both their goals were kind of anomalies, I should say. They don't usually score set pieces or those kind of goals. Sammy says, Neeks, I need you to announce that a City player is dropped later on. We know Pep's going to rest someone for the PSG game. Yeah, he is going to rest. It depends who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about. Who, Laporte? I don't know. But yeah, Pep's going to rotate, I guess. But he's going to want to win the final. They win that Europa League. They win that Carling Cup year in, year out. He's going to want to win the final. I hope Spurs get the victory, though. Shane says, I wonder if Rashford's up front on the left. Yeah. As I just said, I can see Dan James having a good game. This is a game that Dan James doesn't like to play in. Space in behind to run. He wants space in behind, and he's going to get space in behind. Even if Leeds attempt to defend more than they do, they're not a defensive side, so he's still going to get space to run in behind. They could try and sit back. There's still going to be gaps in their defense, and the tendencies, the natural tendencies for them to push forward, etc., is going to come to the fore. So I expect Dan James to have a good game, and he hasn't been bad in the last couple months. Nomad says, if James makes the right pass off the break, we can open up this team 100%. It's both James's decision making and execution. Sometimes he makes the right pass, but it's the poor execution, and other times he makes the wrong pass. Like, there's a lot for his game to work on, but with the time and space that I expect he's going to get, he should have a good game. If there's any game, like obviously we know in the big games when we play on the counter, James can be very good, very useful. But in terms of, let's say, a mid to lower table team, if there's any game for him to excel in, it's a game like this. Sammy says Greenwood seems better coming onto the ball and shooting. At the moment, yeah. Standing people up, shifting it either onto his left or his right, and making getting a shot is where he's at the moment. But he is a goal scorer. He's a finisher. I think he's going to end up as a striker and a number 9. But I think he has to fill out a bit more, be a bit stronger, so he's not bullied off the ball. And even improve like the kind of his first touch to trap the ball, hold it up, and link play. It can be difficult at times, yeah, when you're number 9 and he's not going to get the time and space to turn and face his man. But you see that it's still possible. You know, you adapt your game, because even if you've got a strength of running in behind, doesn't mean you only have to run in behind. Harry Kane can be in the box as a poacher, number 9, get some crosses in, get to the near post, header, whatever it might be. But he also drops deep. He drops deep to play make, but Greenwood can also drop deep and stand up as defender. So it's just something he needs to develop. And with his finishing ability, you want him in and around the 18-yard, 6-yard box as much as possible. One chance, one goal. Like, I remember when we played West Ham. We were 1-0 down. Did he come on? No. It was Rashford and Bruno came on at half time. We won the game 3-1, and he scored a brilliant goal. I think it was a cross from Bruno on the left, and he kind of ghosted behind his defender. First touch, kind of on the turn, and then one touch finish, bam. 2 touches, boom, boom. Like, he's got a natural goal scoring instinct. When you're out on the right, it's harder to showcase those instincts out there. He can showcase other skills, but it's harder to showcase those specific instincts out on the right. So I would like to see him develop into a centre forward, a striker. Looking at the Leeds team, let me just bring that up. Let's see who they got. Oh, sorry, let me finish our bench actually. So David De Gea on the bench, of course. Alex Telles, Bailly, Tuanzebe, Mata, Matic, Pogba, Van de Beek, and Cavani. So I think we've got some ballers on there to come in if we need to, control the game. None of them are pacey, but they got strength, and they've got the technical ability to come in and control a game, or even change a game if it's going a bit awry. The Leeds team, it looks like he's gone with a 4-5-1. I mean, the general formation they generally play with Melier in goal, Ayling, Stroy, Lorente, Alioski, Phillips, obviously Calvin Phillips is defensive midfielder, Dallas, Harrison, Roberts, Costa, and Bamford up front. Of course, they've got no Rafinha. They've got, why did they say they've got someone called Greenwood on their bench? Interesting. And yeah, Klitsch is on their bench as well. But yeah, there's no Rafinha, and Rafinha is a baller. Rafinha is an absolute baller. So for our sake, for us, yeah, I'm happy he's not playing. It would have been good to see him, but in terms of us getting a result, I'm happy he's not playing. As far as the Premier League table goes, let me bring up the table just now. As far as the Premier League table goes, obviously we're not in the top 4 race, which I'm very, very happy about. I'm not trying to be invested in any kind of title race. Top 4 race even. Love to be involved in the title race. Okay, so looking at the top 4 quickly. So the top 4 race. Everton are sitting on 52 points with a game in hand. If they win that game, they will go up to 55. So they'll be level points with West Ham, 3 points behind Chelsea, and above Liverpool, or 11 points with West Ham with a game in hand. So that game's against Aston Villa. I can't see Everton getting top 4, but they can win that game and they can be within the running. That means from 4th, which will be down to 8th, 5 points will separate. Now I've looked at some of the fixtures and I've run my own numbers. And I'm going to bring that up in a minute actually. But I've run my own numbers to think where I think this league might, where the top 4 race might finish up. Spurs, they're there. West Ham, Chelsea beat them yesterday. A big win for Chelsea in that top 4 race. Liverpool drawing again. They drew with Leeds, drew with Newcastle, both late goals. That is costing them big time, because imagine they get 4. They win those 2 games, 4 points, 758. They level with Chelsea. Now they're 4 points off. They need Chelsea to drop points in 2 games for them to for them to capitalize. Like, it's looking very, very long for Liverpool right now. Very long. What they have in their favour is their fixtures, but it's the fixtures that they've always lost in. The reason why they're in this position is because of those fixtures. So there's no guarantee that they're going to go and win those games. If we just like look at the games, or look at the games that these teams have got. Chelsea have got Fulham, Man City, Arsenal, Leicester, Aston Villa. They're not easy games. They're not easy games. But Chelsea are keeping clean sheets. And when you keep a clean sheet, you only need one goal to win a game. Only one goal to win a game. West Ham, they've got a decent run in. Burnley, Everton, that's a tough game. Brighton, West Brom, Southampton. Like, on paper, they should be winning 4 out of those 5 games. That's 12 points. That's 12 points. Takes them to 67. The Everton games are, we don't know. We don't know. Liverpool on paper, great fixtures. Obviously, other than Man United, they're playing next. The way they're playing, I can't see them winning that game. But then they got Southampton, West Brom, Burnley, Palace. They should be winning those games. That's 12 points. That takes them to 66. Spurs have got decent fixtures as well. Spurs have got decent fixtures. Sheffield United, Leeds, Wolves, Aston Villa, Leicester last game of the season could be a big one. Everton. I think Everton, we can look on paper and say, oh, they're decent fixtures. But Everton's not a great side. They're a good side, not a great side. Aston Villa, West Ham, Sheffield, Wolves, Man City. Like, if they only won 2 of those games, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Even they beat Arsenal the other day, they didn't play well. They didn't play well. Leicester, Chelsea fans are looking at possibly overtaking Leicester. Leicester got Palace, should be winning that. Southampton, Newcastle should be winning that. But it's the last 3 games. Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham. Those last 3 games of the season. When are they going to? They're going to have to change one of these fixtures. Or they're going to have to change the Premier League game because the FA Cup is scheduled for the same day. So there'll probably be a midweek game after the 15th where they'll play. So Chelsea and Leicester are going to play each other back to back. They play the FA Cup, and then they're going to play the Premier League, and then they'll play Tottenham the last day of the season. That's going to be a tough game. That's a tough run in for Leicester. So they want to win their next 3, and then kind of see where it leaves them. If they win their next 3, they should be top 4. Like, that shouldn't be even an issue after that. Man United, as I said, Man United, we are guaranteed. We're guaranteed top 4. That's not even a question. The question is how many points exact. And being 7 points clear of Leicester, second place in the bag. As far as I'm concerned, in the bag. Leeds today, we should be winning that. Liverpool, tough game. Hopefully we win that game. Villa should be winning that. Tough game against Leicester. Fulham, Wolves. So I'll say 3, 6, 9, 12. So I would say at least 12 points we'll get in. That would take us to 78. And then 2 more games, see what happens. So if it's 2 draws, that's 80 points. That's 80 points. And I'll bring up my predictor table in a second. But yeah, I think as far we're not in the top 4 race. It's about how close can we finish to Man City. We know we're not winning the league, but how close can we finish to Man City? Can we make it respectable to give us optimism for next season? Optimism, just to say, oh, you know what? If we do X, Y, Z, we can actually challenge for the league, or we can win the league. Or if we buy X, Y, Z, we can. That's what we need to be at. We need to be thinking on those levels. I don't want to be to not be in the top 4 race at this stage of the season. I'm happy because last season was stressful. Last season was stressful. Dean says, looks like Henderson's in the starting 11 from now. I don't see what he has done to push out the hair from the spot. I like Dean, but his barely 20 performances aren't convincing enough. Yeah, I mean, he's been all right. I think where he lacks, David De Gea excels, and where he excels, David De Gea lacks, especially with the command of the box. Now, we know that was an issue for him in the last game. He was too forceful and coming out and erratic, but he's confident in doing. David De Gea sticks on his line. It's like polar opposites. The only thing Dean Henderson has over him, as far as Man United is concerned, is longevity and less wages. That's it. That's literally it. Longevity and less wages. I think as ability-wise, David De Gea for me is still the best keeper. But if he wants to leave, then you have to. And even if he doesn't, but you're thinking about, well, we can get a good fee for him, etc., then you have to give Dean Henderson the opportunity. See if he's good enough. And if he is, then you say, okay, cool, we can sell David De Gea, we can get good money. If he's not, then you have to say, well, we're going to have to keep you, David De Gea, because you've signed a contract. And maybe it's Dean Henderson you end up selling. But you will never know if you don't give an opportunity. And he's been given, I think, by the end of the season, he would have played about 12 to 14 Premier League games in a row. And I think, because David De Gea would play in the cup game. So about 12 to 14 Premier League games in a row. That's enough, really, to assess whether he's good enough. And that will be, over 30 games for the season in all competitions. Look at Spurs fixtures. They can sneak in. They can. I'm going to bring out my table in a second. They can sneak in. They can. Let them other teams sweat out at the end of the season. Last season was stressful for us, We came back after lockdown. We're like, we got to win. We won. We got to win again. We got to win. Oh, we need Chelsea to drop points. We need Leicester to drop points. Oh, yeah. Like, it was stress. And then we got a chance to go top 4. We draw with West Ham. Oh, then the others drop points. Oh, we got a chance to go top 4. We draw with Southampton. We sneak into the top 4. Then we have to play Leicester in the last game of the season, who are also fighting for top 4. Stressful. And says the nerves are kicking in. 3 hours left. J Spurs feeling it as well. Listen, I hope you don't win. I beg. Harry Kane, they're saying that he might not be fit, but he trained. Is it going to be a case of Champions League final all over again, where you play him even though he's not fully fit? Is that what's going to happen? I was thinking Harry Kane's not going to play, Spurs going to win it, and everyone's going to be like, Harry Kane scored all those goals and still can't win anything. I hope you lot win. Not because I really like you lot. I don't mind you. You're cool. But I don't want Man City to win anything. And they're going to win the Premier League, so the less other things they can win, the better. PSG, I need them to win. Spurs to win. I needed Chelsea to win. They done their job last weekend. So that's what I'm all about, man. Come on, Ryan Mason, says Sammy. So, guys, this is my predicted table. This is my predicted table between now and the end of the season. So, comparing to the current table, Man City are on 77. So, I'm expecting, I predicted Man City to win 5 out of 5. That would take them to 92 points, 15 extra points. They might drop a point in one, but that's what I've just predicted. And in terms of goal difference, I've literally just done, if you draw, obviously I've done it 0-0, and if you win, I've done it at 1-0. So there's no, you can't really take goal difference as it stands. The goal difference, what it is now, I'm not going to judge it based on that. So I'm just saying 1-0 wins, 0-0 draws. Obviously, things could change. Teams finishing joint level on points, goal difference may come into it. But I've said Man City winning 5 out of 5. That would take them to 92 points. Man United got 6 more games. And I'm saying we're going to win another 16 points. So that would be 5 wins and a draw. So I think I've got the draw. Who did I have the draw against? Liverpool, probably. Or was that against Leicester? One of the two. That would take us to 82 points. 10 points behind Man City. That's borderline. 10 points is acceptable. 82 points and a 10-point gap is acceptable. That's it. Anything more in terms of a point gap is you next season you're struggling. You're thinking, how can we challenge? We've got 15 points to make up. It's too much. But a 10-point gap and 82 points, you say, well done. That's a decent season. You look at it and say, we only lost 4 games this season, but 10 draws. We need to change more of those draws into wins. That's what you're looking at now. Leicester City, I've got them on 71. So at the moment, they're on 59, which means I'm expecting another 12 points, so 4 wins, 2 losses. That would be 71 points. Chelsea. So Chelsea are currently on 58. West Ham are on 55. I've got Chelsea getting a 10 extra points and West Ham getting 13 more points. And that brings them level on points and goal difference. Chelsea, the last 3 games of the season are poor. Not poor, so are hard. So the results are not going to be easy. They can get the result, of course. We know they can, but it's just my prediction. 68 points I've got them both finishing on, that would be 2 points extra, actually, for Chelsea than they got last year. They got 66 last year. As Sammy says, Spurs got a chance. Spurs 66 I've got. So at the moment, Spurs on 53. So I've got them actually getting 13 more points, which is the same amount as Chelsea, but starting, of course, from a bit further back. So they may end up on 66. But 66, sixth place finish will take them into the Europa League, because they're either going to win the Carling Cup and get into the Europa League, or Man City will win it, and then the sixth place goes down to the Europa League. And then Leicester or Chelsea is going to win the FA Cup, and then seventh place will go to Europa League as well. So either way, 6th and 7th will be Europa League. And I've got Liverpool, who are currently on 54, getting another 10 points and finishing on 64, which will be Europa League football for Liverpool next season. Actually, well, I don't know what Conference League anymore. I don't know who qualifies where. So it might even be Conference League football, to be honest. European Conference League. That's my prediction, isn't it? Let me know what you lot think in the chat. Jamie Gaming and Sports says, people crying about McFred starting, even though they played superb against League last time. People are always going to complain about Man United's lineups. For me, there's no point. Our results speak for themselves. Solskjaer's selections have obviously been successful. I can't say every single game, but over the course of the season, he kind of knows what he's doing. What are you complaining about? Like, they are going to be. You knew they were going to be starting anyway. Why you're just complaining for sake of complaining now? That's all you're doing. That table, it's not too bad. Like, Man City on 92 points, I don't like. But 82 points, I mean, that would actually be the best individual season that we've had in the Premier League since Fergie. We finished on 81 under Jose. That would be 82. Played better football. Hopefully win the Europa League. If we win the Europa League and finish second, best individual season, hands down. 11 points clear of third. 14 points clear of fourth and fifth. Like, I would take that. That's a good position to be in. That's a good position for progression for next season. But guys, listen, Man United, Leeds versus Manchester United, Leeds United versus Manchester United, Yorkshire versus Lancashire, White versus Red, the Battle of the Roses. I'll be here for a post-match review. My post-match review will be actually at 8 p.m. I've already set that. So go over there, hit the reminder on the video, because after the Leeds game, I'm going to be on the Football Terrace, and then the Man City Spurs game is going to start straight away. So after the Man City Spurs final, I'll be doing my match review at 8 p.m. on Neeks Sports. Make sure there. Go over to the video, hit like, hit a reminder on that video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Big up for everybody in the chat. Sammy, I'm gonna go check what Jadeja did in that over. I saw the commentary of it. 37 runs in the over in the IPL, so that's a madness. Nomad says 82 points with no Martial. Imagine if we had him. Imagine if he turned up this year. Dean, let's go. Let's get the win. Glory, glory, Man United. Glazers out each and every time. I'll see you lot soon.